It's time to call Mr. and Mrs. Sussex. Parliament and Privy Council pass new law to strip Meghan and Harry's titles. Good news. Sources close to the palace reported Parliament is considering the nuclear option of stripping Harry and Meghan of their royal titles under bombshell legislation to be proposed this week. Conservative MP Bob Seely is putting forward a bill that could deny the couple their Duke and Duchess standing as the royal family becomes increasingly engulfed in the discriminatory row fueled by the pair's unofficial mouthpiece. The Isle of Wight MP wants to adapt laws originally passed in the First World War to deny enemy German nobles their British titles. His bill would force the Commons to consider turning Harry and Meghan into plain old Mr. and Mrs. Sussex, at a time when the couple are under mounting pressure to break their silence over incendiary claims made by author Omid Scobie. Mr. Seely said that he had to act because of the attempt to use race to smear the royal family, which he called poisonously insidious. The politician, a member of the Commons Foreign Affairs Committee, adds, "Of all the damaging insults to throw, discrimination is the most poisonously insidious, guaranteed to leave a whiff of stigma, and impossible to prove when false. It's the catch-all slur of the modern era." He's applying for his title's deprivation 1917 amendment bill to be listed on the Commons order paper next week. It would resurrect the wartime powers by removing references to enemies and present war. He's cleared the wording with Parliament's Table Office, which oversees draft legislation. "I'm not a Republican and support the monarchy, but after the latest instalment of the couple's feud with the rest of the royal family, I believe that Parliament and the Privy Council should consider a nuclear option," Seely wrote in a column for the Mail on Sunday. "If someone doesn't want to be royal, that's a decision that we respect, but they shouldn't keep the titles and privileges if they trash an institution that plays an important part in our nation's life," he added. Sources close to the Sussexes have stressed that Harry and Meghan are not behind claims made in Omid Scobie's book, but I suspect that few people believe such denials. "The Duke and Duchess can be Mr. and Mrs. like the rest of us." Seely said the near unprecedented action was warranted because of the seriousness of the accusations levelled in Endgame. "This has been planned for a while and this guy was waiting for the right time to drop it. The Harkles have no idea of the constitutional role of the monarch, and have no inclination or ability to learn. They'd monetize and politicize the role for their own self-interest. They shouldn't keep those royal benefits if they commit to a lifetime's worth of zero public service for taxpayers, dealing with economic downturn caused by a catastrophic pandemic, and a time of very costly wars. As long as Meghan's married to Henry, she's entitled to be called Princess Henry. It's basically like Mrs. Harry Mountbatten Windsor. But if they get divorced, the princess title goes away. Having Parliament push for the removal relieves the pressure on the king to do it. It reflects the will of the people, and while the couple can still work mischief, this will send a clear signal that the royal family has nothing to do with their shenanigans. In principle, this is a good thing. Politicians normally steer clear of royal controversies, but the incendiary nature of the discriminatory claims has attracted rare levels of condemnation. Tom Tugendhat, the security minister, has praised the dignity of the king and the Princess of Wales, and labelled the claims rumour and scuttlebutt.